The cabinet is majority people of color for the first time in history. The cabinet is majority female for the first time in history. A majority of White House senior staff identify as female. 40% of White House senior staff identify as part of the racially diverse communities. They decided to put me in this position. They decided that they wanted Karine Jean-Pierre, with all of the things, all the communities that I represent, clearly being a Black person, right, being a Black woman. They said, we want you to represent us. Right. We want you to represent the White House. We want to meet this moment that we're in. And we know that you are beyond capable of doing that, right? You are experienced. But as you asked me about this particular question, look, we were able to beat Medicare. That is something that this president was able to do.
Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicaid, beat it to death.
Now, finally, today, President Biden met with 3 U.S. winners of the 2022 Nobel Prize. Dr. Carolyn Bertozzi, who won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Dr. John Clauser, who won the Nobel Prize in Physics, and Dr. Douglas Diamond, who won the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences. The president is restarting an important tradition that just like he does for winning sports teams, as you have seen him do in the past 20 months or so, the president meets with U.S. winners of the Nobel Prize, expand the boundaries of what is possible. Their work is a reminder of why President often says that the America can be defined by one word, and you all know that word that he uses is possibilities. With that, I'm going to go out of school for a second. Look, this is an important civil rights accomplishment that was achieved in a bicameral and a bipartisan way, and it got that support. And this question was well litigated throughout the legislative process, where it passed with both chambers of bipartisan support. And I think that matters, right? Bicameral, bipartisan support was had for this piece of legislation.
In the legislation, so it does not codify discrimination.
Look, what we're saying to you today is that this piece of legislation was done in a bipartisan, bicameral way, and it will make a difference for millions of Americans across the country. Nearly 70 years since the Korean ARMTIS, you think about the Infrastructure Reduction Act, that's going to create jobs, which describes authoritatively prices are around $70 per gallon. Right now, $1.7 billion in deficit deduction under this administration. Oil companies are ranking in record profits, as we have seen. We refrain the flexibility to replenish at any market price, equal measures of freedom, prosperity. He's going to be talking to the respondents on the ground who have been done a tremendous work. And I would refer you to the United Kingdom government and the border logistics of the Queen's. Europe gas shortage will be full by the critical winter heating season. Germany will reach their target gas shortage, have their claim adjudicated on a case-by-case basis. Pipeline of Nord Stream 1. So the sanction we've imposed, we believe, do stand in the way of the European gas shortage will be full.
Any other details you can share with us? Who may have briefed him?
Just give me 1 second. That corruption is, as we're dealing with the Northern Triangle, is dealt with. Hold on a second. I did have something that I wanted to share with all of you. If I can find it really quickly. Just give me a second. I don't have it with me.
Is that acceptable to the president? Would he be okay with that?
That is something, I'm not going to get into hypotheticals, that is something that Congress should kind of, because of dysfunction inside Russia, a Russian warlord himself.
Hi.
Thank you, Karine. If I don't see you again,
in the briefing. Thank you for always. You could have stopped taking the hard questions years ago, and you didn't. So we appreciate that.
Over 2 years, my friend. This is, let's say, one last dance, right? I don't know how I'm going to fill my dance card now. How will I fill that void without you?
You tell me. You tell me. So
Start some rumors in here, I guess.
He's getting red too. Look at
So a week from now, it's all over.
Yes.
Between next Monday and 2028.
2028?
Who's the leader of the Democratic Party?
Oh, my goodness. Wow. That is, honestly, that is for people much smarter than I to make that assessment, that decision. Obviously, voters will decide. That is not something for me to decide. I could say right now, in this moment, in this room, as I'm looking at the clock as it's counting down, because we have to leave shortly, you have the President Joe Biden, who is obviously the president and the leader of the Democratic Party. Support to continue the funding to Ukraine. We've heard that specifically from Speaker McCarthy just yesterday multiple times saying